Remember the excitement of Christmas morning in the 60s and 70s? The thrill of tearing open wrapping paper, discovering the newest toy everyone was talking about, and imagining endless adventures. From dolls and action figures to creative gadgets and classic games, these decades produced some of the most iconic toys that shaped childhoods and fueled holiday memories for generations. Let's take a fun trip down memory lane and explore the top Christmas toys that made kids squeal with joy back then. The classic Barbie doll. If you were a kid during the 60s and 70s, chances are Barbie was on your wish list or someone else's, and for good reason. Barbie wasn't just a toy. She was a gateway to imagination, fashion, and, for many, a first lesson in storytelling. When Mattel introduced Barbie in 1959, the idea of a teenage fashion doll was revolutionary. She came with a sleek body, glamorous outfits, and a confident personality that allowed kids to play out all kinds of adventures, from career dreams to social scenarios. By the 60s, Barbie's world had expanded tremendously. She wasn't alone anymore. Ken, her boyfriend, made his debut in 1961, giving kids the dynamic duo they could play with endlessly. Barbie also came with a growing wardrobe, from evening gowns and swimsuits to career outfits, encouraging children to mix, match, and create entirely new stories. Want Barbie to be a pilot one day and a fashion model the next? Go for it. This freedom to explore roles made her more than just a doll. She was a tool for creativity. Accessories were just as essential as Barbie herself. Dream houses, convertibles, and even small pets gave kids the chance to build immersive worlds around her. The idea was simple but effective: provide a canvas for storytelling. Many families remember how Barbie accessories often sparked debates over whose Barbie got the new outfit first or who got to play with the car. These small moments were part of the magic that made the doll unforgettable. Barbie's influence wasn't just in playtime, it became a cultural phenomenon. By the mid-70s, Barbie had sold millions of units worldwide and appeared in commercials, magazines, and promotional campaigns. Kids eagerly collected every new version, dreaming about the latest hairstyle, outfit, or themed set. The doll wasn't just a gift, it was a statement about style, aspiration, and modern childhood. Interestingly, Barbie also mirrored the changing times. In the late 60s and 70s, she began taking on more career roles: doctor, astronaut, teacher, reflecting broader social shifts and the growing awareness of possibilities for girls. While not perfect, these iterations of Barbie encouraged children to imagine futures beyond traditional norms. Many parents and educators noticed how the doll inspired storytelling, social interaction, and even early problem-solving, as kids created complex scenarios and dialogue for their dolls. Ever wonder how a tiny action figure sparked a nationwide craze and became every kid's dream Christmas gift? G.I. Joe action figures. When it comes to action, adventure, and imagination, few toys captured the spirit of the 60s like G.I. Joe. Launched by Hasbro in 1964, G.I. Joe wasn't just a doll, it was the original action figure, a term coined to market a male toy without crossing the cultural line that made dolls seem only for girls. This clever branding allowed boys to enjoy detailed figures, play out military missions, and immerse themselves in daring scenarios. All from the comfort of their living rooms, G.I. Joe came with impressive articulation for the time. Kids could pose him in various positions, whether scaling a cardboard mountain, rappelling down a curtain rope, or leading an imaginary patrol across the carpeted battlefield. Along with his signature uniform, Joe came equipped with an array of accessories: rifles, helmets, backpacks, and even tiny binoculars. These additions encouraged problem-solving and creativity, as children imagined missions, enemy encounters, and rescue operations. Unlike other toys, G.I. Joe invited storytelling that spanned hours or even days of play. By the late 60s, G.I. Joe had become a massive success. Hasbro introduced multiple characters with different specialties, including the action-packed adventure team in 1970. This evolution shifted G.I. Joe from strictly military themes to broader adventures, like deep-sea diving, mountain climbing, or jungle exploration. It was a smart move. Kids loved variety, and parents appreciated toys that promoted imaginative play beyond just soldier scenarios. Each figure had a backstory, mission, and unique equipment, which made playtime more immersive. The G.I. Joe craze wasn't just about the figures themselves, it was about the entire universe that emerged around them. Kids built forts, obstacle courses, and elaborate battlefields in basements, backyards, and living rooms. Some families still remember Christmas mornings where G.I. Joe figures arrived with tiny accessories carefully wrapped, and kids spent hours setting up scenarios before even thinking about their other presents. The toys also inspired games among friends, fostering social interaction, teamwork, and friendly competitions that revolved around creativity and strategy. Television and print media played a key role in G.I. Joe's cultural rise. Comic books, advertisements, and later animated specials expanded the toy's narrative, giving children a richer experience of Joe's adventures. Suddenly, G.I. Joe wasn't just a figure on a shelf. He was a hero in action-packed stories, a character kids could relate to and aspire to emulate. This multi-platform approach made the brand unforgettable and kept it at the top of Christmas wish lists year after year. G.I. Joe also reflected broader social trends. During the 60s and 70s, there was fascination with heroism, exploration, and adventure, themes that G.I. Joe embodied. His ability to adapt from military missions to exotic explorations kept him relevant and exciting, even as tastes shifted. Collectors today still seek out vintage G.I. Joe figures, adventure team sets, and original accessories, preserving the nostalgia and charm of the original toy line, Hot Wheels. When Mattel introduced Hot Wheels in 1968, they weren't just selling toy cars. They were launching a miniature revolution. Kids suddenly had the power to race sleek, colorful cars on loops, jumps, and tracks that defied gravity. Hot Wheels weren't like the average die-cast cars of the time. These were specially designed for speed, style, and collectability. The promise was simple: faster, cooler, and more fun than anything on the toy store shelves. The first wave of Hot Wheels cars, called the Original 16, featured eye-catching designs, flashy paint jobs, and shiny chrome-plated wheels. Unlike standard toys, these cars were engineered for performance. Kids could launch them down tracks and watch them zoom around curves, fly off ramps, and land perfectly on the carpeted floors of their living rooms. It wasn't just play. It was an adrenaline rush in miniature form. The cars were durable, visually striking, and instantly collectible. Tracks were the magic ingredient that made Hot Wheels irresistible. Simple loops, spirals, and modular tracks allowed children to build sprawling racing circuits. Imagination ran wild as they created daring jumps, crash scenarios, and racing tournaments. Hot Wheels tracks weren't just toys, they were playgrounds for creativity, encouraging problem-solving, engineering, and collaboration among friends and siblings. Setting up a track often became a family event, with carpeted hallways serving as grand raceways. Collectors quickly joined the craze, adding a new layer to the Hot Wheels phenomenon. Special editions, unique paint schemes, and limited-run cars became coveted treasures. Kids would trade cars on playgrounds, at school, and even at neighborhood gatherings, learning early lessons in value, negotiation, and strategy. Parents noticed the excitement and the social interaction, making Hot Wheels more than a toy. It was a shared cultural experience. Hot Wheels also tapped into the era's fascination with speed, cars, and innovation. The late 60s and 70s saw a surge in car culture, with muscle cars, drag races, and auto shows capturing imaginations. Hot Wheels mirrored this cultural trend perfectly, bringing the thrill of racing and automotive design into a child's hands. Every car and every track was a tiny extension of that automotive obsession, allowing kids to live out their car fantasies in miniature form. Decades later, Hot Wheels remains iconic. The combination of speed, design, and collectability has ensured that generations continue to enjoy the brand. What started as a simple idea, a miniature car built for performance, evolved into a worldwide phenomenon. For kids in the 60s and 70s, Hot Wheels wasn't just a toy, it was a gateway to imagination, competition, and endless holiday excitement. Easy Bake Oven. When the Easy Bake Oven first appeared in 1963, it was a tiny appliance that promised huge fun. Unlike other toys, this wasn't just for building, racing, or dressing up. It was a miniature kitchen where kids could actually bake real treats. Using a simple light bulb or heating element, the Easy Bake Oven allowed children to mix, pour, and watch their creations rise to life. On Christmas morning, nothing matched the excitement of unwrapping a box that turned ingredients into cookies, cakes, and brownies right on the spot. The genius of the Easy Bake Oven was its simplicity. With small, pre-measured mixes and easy-to-follow instructions, kids could safely experience the thrill of baking. Parents loved it too, because it taught patience, measurement, and basic cooking skills without the risk of a full-size oven. For many children, it was the first taste of independence, learning that with a little effort, they could create something delicious entirely on their own. Marketing played a huge role in the oven's popularity. Commercials from the 60s and 70s featured children joyfully mixing batter and pulling out warm, perfectly baked treats. The slogan, "It's a real oven for real fun," captured imaginations, promising a hands-on magical experience. Easy Bake Ovens became a must-have holiday item, and kids eagerly anticipated adding the toy to their Christmas morning haul. The toy also reflected social norms of the era. While many girls were encouraged to play with dolls and dress-up toys, the Easy Bake Oven offered a hands-on approach to domestic skills. It combined play with learning, and though it targeted young girls initially, its appeal was broad. Any kid fascinated by cooking and creating could enjoy it. Over time, Mattel and Kenner expanded the product line with new colors, baking mixes, and accessories, keeping the oven exciting and modern. The creative possibilities were nearly endless. Kids could experiment with mini cakes, cookies, and even savory treats, customizing them with frosting, decorations, or sprinkles. The oven became a centerpiece for holiday gatherings, with siblings and friends taking turns baking and tasting, turning the toy into a social experience. Many families fondly recall the smell of freshly baked treats wafting through the living room on Christmas morning, making memories that lasted far longer than the toy itself ever imagined. Drawing masterpieces without a pencil, just two knobs and your imagination. Etch a Sketch. Few toys captured creativity and frustration quite like the Etch A Sketch. Introduced in 1960 by Ohio Art, this simple yet brilliant toy challenged kids to draw, design, and doodle using just two knobs. One knob moved the stylus horizontally, the other vertically, etching lines onto a screen coated with aluminum powder. For children of the 60s and 70s, it was like holding a tiny, magical drawing machine in their hands, turning imagination into visible art. The appeal of Etch A Sketch was its simplicity. No pens, no paints, no mess, just pure creativity. Kids could sketch houses, animals, or even attempt impossible geometric shapes, all while learning patience and hand-eye coordination. Mistakes weren't permanent either. A simple shake of the frame erased the screen, giving endless opportunities to try again. This reset function made it forgiving, playful, and surprisingly satisfying. Marketing emphasized Etch A Sketch as both fun and educational. Commercials showcased children creating intricate designs, often highlighting how the toy encouraged spatial awareness and dexterity. Parents were intrigued by the idea of a toy that combined playtime with skill development. It became a must-have gift, especially during the holiday season, and its simple, engaging design helped it stand out among the growing wave of high-tech toys emerging in the 60s and 70s. Etch A Sketch wasn't just about following lines, it encouraged problem-solving. Kids quickly learned that creating curves, circles, and diagonal shapes required planning, creativity, and sometimes trial and error. Friends and siblings often competed to create the most intricate designs, turning playtime into mini art competitions. The toy fostered imagination while subtly teaching strategy and patience, skills that extended beyond the drawing board. Over time, the Etch A Sketch became more than just a toy. It became an icon. Its distinctive red frame and gray screen made it instantly recognizable, while the challenge of creating perfect designs kept kids coming back for more. Some even developed remarkable skills, turning the toy into a canvas for impressive, gallery-worthy sketches. Holiday mornings often saw kids proudly showing off their latest creations, delighted by the possibilities offered by this unassuming toy. Collectors today still treasure vintage Etch A Sketch units, appreciating not only their nostalgic value, but also the ingenuity behind their design. While modern gadgets have come and gone, Etch A Sketch remains a testament to creativity, simplicity, and the enduring magic of hands-on play. For children in the 60s and 70s, it wasn't just a toy, it was a doorway into a world where imagination was unlimited, and every twist of a knob could produce a masterpiece. Who knew a potato could become a fashion icon, a superhero, or even a family favorite overnight? Mr. Potato Head. When Mr. Potato Head first became a hit in the 60s, he transformed the idea of play in ways few toys had before. Unlike dolls or action figures, this toy started as a simple set of plastic parts: eyes, ears, noses, and mouths that kids could stick into a real potato. By the 60s, Hasbro had transitioned to a fully plastic version, making Mr. Potato Head safer and more versatile. But the magic remained the same: endless customization and silly fun. The appeal was obvious. Kids could create wacky faces, mashups, or even themed characters like pirates, clowns, or astronauts. The toy encouraged imagination and storytelling, as children invented personalities, backstories, and adventures for their potato creations. Want a superhero, Mr. Potato Head? Go ahead. A fashionista? Absolutely. The toy gave kids the freedom to experiment with humor, creativity, and even a little chaos, all without limits. Mr. Potato Head also sparked social play. Siblings and friends often collaborated, swapping parts to create outrageous combinations. The toy encouraged sharing, negotiation, and collaboration in a way few other toys did at the time. Parents often joined in too, laughing at bizarre creations or competing to make the funniest potato character. On Christmas mornings, it wasn't just about opening the box, it was about the endless possibilities contained inside it. The marketing genius of Mr. Potato Head helped cement its popularity. Commercials emphasized humor and creativity, showing kids laughing while transforming a potato into dozens of different characters. Playsets and themed accessories expanded the experience, making the toy increasingly collectible. By the 70s, Mr. Potato Head had become a household name and a staple of holiday gift lists, proving that simple, imaginative play could compete with the flashier, high-tech toys emerging at the time. Interestingly, Mr. Potato Head also reflected broader cultural trends. The toy encouraged humor, storytelling, and a hands-on approach to play, contrasting with the increasingly commercialized, ready-made entertainment options like TV shows and early video games. Slinky. The Slinky might be one of the simplest toys ever invented, but its charm was, and still is, irresistible. Originally created in 1945 by Richard James, the toy quickly captured imaginations, and by the 60s and 70s, it had become a holiday staple. The concept was straightforward: a metal spring that could walk downstairs or be tossed and flipped in endless combinations. But simplicity doesn't mean boring. Kids across America spent hours marveling at the mesmerizing motion and inventing games around the toy. Part of the Slinky's appeal was its tactile and visual nature. Watching the spring ripple down steps, performing loops and flips, was almost hypnotic. It didn't require batteries or complex instructions, just a little skill and patience. This hands-on interaction gave children a sense of control and achievement, as successfully navigating a Slinky down a staircase became a small but satisfying challenge. The toy also encouraged creativity. Beyond stairs, kids would invent obstacle courses, race multiple Slinkies, or incorporate them into imaginative play scenarios. The spring's elasticity allowed for endless experimentation, and its durability meant it could withstand countless falls, twists, and turns. The Slinky became more than a toy. It was a tool for problem-solving and a test of dexterity. Marketing helped cement the Slinky's place in holiday culture iconic commercials, complete with jingles like "What walks downstairs, alone or in pairs," turned the toy into an instant cultural reference. Parents appreciated the toy for its low cost, simplicity, and the way it kept children engaged without constant supervision. Meanwhile, kids were enchanted by the magic of motion and the satisfaction of mastering new tricks. The Slinky also held a nostalgic charm that kept it popular over decades. Children of the 60s and 70s often received it alongside other top toys, pairing it with action figures, dolls, or play sets to enhance their holiday experience. Its simple design belied its versatility. The Slinky could entertain solo or be integrated into collaborative games, making it suitable for a wide range of ages and play styles. Imagine creating glowing pictures with just pegs and a light. Christmas creativity like never before. Brite. Brite arrived in 1967 as a magical combination of art, light, and creativity. With a simple black screen, tiny colored pegs, and a light behind the panel, children could craft glowing images that came to life in vivid color. It wasn't just a toy, it was an introduction to design, color theory, and imaginative expression, all in one compact kit. For kids in the 60s and 70s, Brite offered a mesmerizing, hands-on creative experience unlike anything else on the market. The toy's appeal lay in its simplicity. Using the included pattern sheets or their own imagination, children could poke pegs into the perforated screen, transforming a blank canvas into intricate pictures that glowed when illuminated. The act of placing each peg required focus and dexterity, encouraging fine motor skill development. At the same time, the immediate visual payoff, the glowing, colorful artwork, was immensely satisfying, turning the creation process into instant gratification. Brite also encouraged experimentation. Kids quickly learned that mixing colors could create gradients or unexpected effects, and blank panels invited original designs beyond the provided templates. Many families recall hours spent in dimly lit rooms, marveling at the soft glow and the way pegs could be rearranged endlessly to form new patterns. The toy fostered not only creativity, but patience, as careful placement often led to the most visually striking results. Marketing emphasized both fun and skill. Commercials showcased children proudly displaying their glowing creations, positioning Brite as a creative yet educational tool. Parents appreciated a toy that entertained while subtly teaching spatial awareness, color coordination, and planning. Its popularity soared during the holidays, as the idea of gifting a glowing canvas that could transform with imagination appealed to children and adults alike. Beyond individual play, Brite became a social activity. Siblings and friends would collaborate on larger designs, challenge each other with new patterns, or even invent storytelling games around their creations. The toy bridged solo creativity and shared experiences, making it versatile and timeless. Christmas mornings often featured kids eagerly arranging pegs, while parents watched in amusement and pride, marveling at how such a simple concept could captivate so fully. For children of the 60s and 70s, Brite wasn't just a toy, it was a glowing gateway to imagination, design, and the joy of creating something uniquely their own. Viewmaster. The Viewmaster wasn't new in the 60s. It had been around since 1939, but it found a second life as a holiday favorite during the 60s and 70s. With its simple mechanism and iconic reels, the Viewmaster allowed kids to experience three-dimensional scenes from the comfort of their living rooms. Whether it was scenic landscapes, famous landmarks, or cartoon characters, the device made children feel like they were peering into another world. What made the Viewmaster so captivating was its mix of simplicity and wonder. Kids didn't need batteries, screens, or complicated instructions. Just slot in a reel, click the lever, and watch scenes pop out in lifelike 3D. Each reel offered multiple images, telling short visual stories that encouraged observation, imagination, and curiosity. For many children, it was a portable adventure, transporting them across continents or into fantastical lands without leaving home. The toy's popularity was also boosted by marketing and accessibility. Advertisements highlighted its educational and entertaining aspects, showing children marveling at exotic locations or beloved characters. Parents appreciated that it combined learning and fun, subtly teaching geography, history, and storytelling while keeping kids engaged. Holiday seasons often saw kids swapping reels with friends, trading favorites, or collecting entire series, adding a layer of social interaction and excitement. Even decades later, the Viewmaster remains an iconic symbol of childhood exploration. For children in the 60s and 70s, it wasn't just a toy, it was a portal to adventure. A mini cinema in the palm of their hands and a perfect gift that sparked curiosity and imagination. Every holiday season, Fisher-Price Little People and play sets. During the 60s, Fisher-Price expanded its Little People line, turning simple figurines into the centerpiece of imaginative play. Unlike many toys of the era, Little People weren't about complicated mechanics. They were small, durable figures with big personalities. Children could build homes, farms, schools, and shops, creating entire miniature worlds that reflected everyday life, adventure, and storytelling. The appeal was immediate. Kids weren't just playing, they were world-building. The playsets encouraged hands-on creativity. With homes, vehicles, and accessories, children could stage scenarios, role-play, or act out stories from their own lives. Siblings often collaborated, creating larger, interconnected towns or farms. Parents appreciated the durability and safety of the toys, knowing they could withstand hours of enthusiastic play without breaking. Fisher-Price's attention to detail made each figure and set relatable, sparking imaginative scenarios that were both fun and educational. Marketing also played a key role in the line's popularity. Commercials showed children joyfully exploring their miniature worlds, emphasizing imagination, learning, and social play. Little People became a common gift during the holidays, with playsets often topping wish lists. The expansion in the 60s introduced more diversity in characters and settings, keeping the toys fresh and exciting for new generations. Beyond play, Little People taught subtle lessons about community, cooperation, and problem-solving. Kids learned to navigate social scenarios, share resources, and create stories with structure and continuity. The toy's simplicity made it timeless, and decades later, vintage Little People sets are still collectible. For children in the 60s, Fisher-Price Little People weren't just toys, they were miniature stages for creativity, imagination, and endless holiday fun. Star Trek and space-themed toys. When the original Star Trek series hit TV screens in the mid-60s, it didn't just captivate viewers, it sparked an entire toy craze. Kids who were fascinated by space, futuristic technology, and intergalactic adventures suddenly had a way to bring the excitement home. Action figures, starship models, and playsets let children reenact daring missions, explore alien worlds, and create their own adventures aboard the Starship Enterprise. The toys themselves were diverse, from miniature phasers and communicator gadgets to highly detailed models of the Enterprise. Each item encouraged imaginative play. Children could craft elaborate scenarios where they were the captain, the crew, or even the alien invaders. Space-themed toys weren't limited to Star Trek either. NASA-inspired rockets, astronaut figures, and moon exploration kits became popular. Reflecting the cultural fascination with the space race, marketing emphasized adventure, exploration, and futurism. Commercials showed kids confidently piloting starships or exploring new planets, reinforcing the idea that the universe was theirs to imagine. Parents saw a combination of entertainment and education, as these toys often introduced children to science concepts, technology, and problem-solving. The excitement of imagining life beyond Earth added a sense of wonder that few other toys could match. The cultural impact was significant. Star Trek and space-themed toys encouraged storytelling, teamwork, and creativity. Siblings and friends would stage elaborate space battles, diplomatic missions, or exploratory voyages, blending science fiction with imaginative role-play. The toys helped inspire a generation's interest in science, engineering, and space travel, leaving a lasting legacy beyond holiday mornings and playrooms. For children in the 60s and 70s, these toys weren't just playthings, they were portals to the stars. Whether reenacting famous TV episodes or inventing entirely new missions, kids could hold the excitement of space exploration in their hands. Star Trek and other space-themed toys captured imaginations, sparked dreams, and made the cosmos feel a little closer, all while delivering endless hours of holiday fun. Who knew family game night could be a battlefield of money, nerves, and hilarious twists? Board games, Monopoly, Operation, and Twister. Board games were a cornerstone of childhood in the 60s and 70s, offering interactive fun that brought families together. Three standout favorites, Monopoly, Operation, and Twister, each created unique experiences that combined strategy, dexterity, and laughter. These games weren't just toys. They were social experiences that turned living rooms into arenas of friendly competition and fun. Monopoly, though older than the 60s, remained a holiday staple. Its mix of strategy, negotiation, and risk-taking captured kids' imaginations, teaching lessons in money management, critical thinking, and planning. Families often spent hours building empires, trading properties, and navigating the ups and downs of luck and chance. Despite occasional disputes over rules, the game encouraged problem-solving and interaction, making it a classic choice for holiday gatherings. Operation, introduced in 1965, brought a hands-on, precision-based challenge to game night players had to remove tiny body parts from a plastic patient using tweezers without triggering the buzzer. The combination of suspense, skill, and humor made Operation a hit. It tested fine motor skills while delivering plenty of laughs as friends and siblings inevitably buzzed each other's patience. Twister, launched in 1966, added a new layer of physicality to board games. Instead of sitting around a table, players stretched, twisted, and contorted themselves across colorful spots on a mat, creating hilarious, chaotic moments. Twister transformed group play into active entertainment, appealing to kids' sense of fun and movement. Its popularity soared at parties and holidays, and it remains an iconic example of playful social games. These board games shared a key trait. They were about interaction, imagination, and shared experience. Unlike many toys that encouraged solo play, Monopoly, Operation, and Twister demanded collaboration, competition, and creativity. They combined fun, skill building, and unpredictability, making them ideal for the holiday season or family evenings. For children in the 60s and 70s, these games weren't just time fillers, they were experiences that brought joy, laughter, and friendly rivalry, leaving lasting memories and securing their place as timeless classics. From toys to games, childhood memories never fade, especially on Christmas. What was your favorite back in those days? Subscribe for more nostalgic adventures.